Hello. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's good. Give everybody a minute or two to come on so I can talk to you guys about the Credit Karma and the different offers as you come on, if you can, so we can help as many people as possible. If you could come on and then make sure that you share it to your page and like it, because I want to make sure in the coming year that we're able to get out as much good information to people so that everybody can improve their credit. Because although I do have a company where that's what I focus on, I also believe that home ownership and a great financial future is for everybody, not just, those who seem to traditionally have it. Some people just don't have it because they don't know. So I'm going to give it a couple more minutes. Thank you, everybody who's coming on. I appreciate you giving me your time this evening. It's freezing, so, being in the house. Hi, Ebony. Being in the house doing these videos is what it is. So if you didn't see my post earlier today, we're going to talk about Credit Karma. We're going to talk about the offers that you see on Credit Karma and kind of how to navigate through them. Well, not kind of, but how to navigate through them, because, you need to know. So give it a couple more. Once we hit like 10 people on the live, we'll go ahead and start. If you're coming on, like it, share it, so it can be on your page so we can spread this information with as many people as possible. And as you can hear me and as you come on, if you can like it or love it, that'll be awesome. We're almost there. We've got 9 people. I'm so excited. I don't think I've ever had 9. I'm excited for the small things in life. All right. And there we go. So what we're going to do today is we are going to talk about Credit Karma. Everybody has Credit Karma. There is nothing wrong with Credit Karma. I have Credit Karma on my phone. It's one of my apps. It's one of my favorites. I like Credit Karma because it can provide you with a free credit score. They update it every 7 days, I believe. So here's why Credit Karma can update your score every 7 days and why it's different from some of your other scores. There are about 27 different scoring models. So of the 27, you can have millions of different score ranges. The one we're going to talk about today is the Vantage score. Vantage score is the scoring model that Credit Karma uses. Vantage score was created back in about 2006 by the 3 credit bureaus. So Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian got together and said, look, we're data reporters, because that's what they really are. We're data reporters. But they said we're going to get together and we are going to create a scoring model that is a little bit more realistic for people. So what this model said is we are going to change what our focus is. We're going to focus on how many accounts you're paying and how you're paying them now, not how you were paying them then. Where the FICO focuses on how you paid your score in the past or how you paid items in the past. And they put a heavy weight on that. Vantage score doesn't care so much about that. Vantage score previously, and they have different levels. So I think they're about to roll out level 4. But I know previously they did not pay attention to any balance that was below $200. So if you had a $200 collection, they didn't, that score didn't drop you down where it would have with FICO score. Now, for those of you who don't know, FICO score is Fair Isaac Corporation or organization. So FICO, they're a neutral third party that they would provide and take the information and provide the score to the bureaus. So the bureaus got together and created their own score. Okay. So for that reason, they're able to update you on Credit Sesame, Credit Karma, Credit.com. They're all able to update you on your credit score every 7 days there. They monitor the information. So if you go on Credit Karma, I think it's just TransUnion and Equifax. And then the other one is Experian. So is everybody good on the understanding of Vantage score? If you guys can give me some comments or questions below, I can see them, because I want to be able to answer you real time before I move on. Okay. So when you log into Credit Karma, they have a section that says recommendations, and they have a section that says, what else is on there? Recommendations, activity or something. So when you see those recommendations, what the recommendations are what they call suggestions for cards that you should get. Here's the thing. They're ads. So the same way that these businesses get on Facebook and they pay for product placement when you're scrolling down your news feed and it says sponsored, it's the same exact thing on Credit Karma. They're paying to have their card pushed in front of your face so that you can see it, so that they can suggest that card to you. It's your due diligence as a consumer to determine whether that would be the best card for you. So let's talk about that real quick. If I'm XYZ company and I decide that I want to be an ad or affiliate or have a partnership with a Credit Karma, if I were on that level, then I could pay them and they would place my card in front of you. So it would be a suggestion if your credit score ranges on the lower end for a Vantage score, which is between 350 and 850. So their scoring range is the same as FICO for the most part. I think some FICOs can go a little higher, but those are usually going to be like people who've been establishing credit for a very, very long time. Homeowners, multiple business, those, it's an outlier, so I get a lot of people who are like, oh, I need to have like the highest credit score possible. If you're trying to buy a house, 660, 640, 620 for so programs are going to get you there, and it's going to get you the same interest rate. So don't kill yourself. Now, push for the max, push for it, but don't beat yourself up if you don't have it. With that, quick tidbit. When you look at your Vantage score and you look at your FICO score, they're never going to be the same. So when you're trying to qualify for a house, they're using your FICO. When you are just doing Vantage, they use those more amongst the financial industry, so not so much for like mortgage companies. And then, in the state of Delaware, you have the insurance credit score. So even your insurance has a different rating. And Delaware is one of the few states where your credit score can impact what your actual rate will be for your insurance. So if you have a high insurance rate and you've done everything you can, maybe it's your credit. Now, the thing is, if you have bad credit, like if you're already with like a credit I'm sorry, I have so many thoughts running through my mind and I want to make sure I get it all out. If you have insurance with a company like a Geico, and every year, it is nothing wrong with having them check your information to see if your credit has improved so that you can get a better rate. If you haven't noticed, every year they send you your declaration page. If you look in like the first 6 pages, on the back of one of them, it says Delaware resident. If you want us to run your credit, send this form back to us. Give us permission. We'll run it to see if your credit score has increased. If it has, we will they'll readjust your insurance rate. But if you don't send it, then they won't. Now, here's the benefit. If your credit score is worse than it was when they previously scored you, they're not going to hold it against you. But if your credit score is better with your insurance, then they'll give you a reduced rate or a better rate. Okay. If you need insurance, you have One Direction Insurance, so that's local. That's Cousin Jeff, as some of you guys may know him. So shout out to him. So let's get back to Credit Karma and what they're doing with the credit cards. It's an ad. They're putting them in front of you based on whatever your Credit Karma range is. And those are the cards that they're going to put in front of you. Now, if you are new, thank you everybody who's coming on. If you can share it to your page so we can get this information out to as many people as we can, that'll be awesome. And you guys can post your questions below. I'll make sure that, I'm looking or whatever. So when you are trying to establish credit, it's best to start with a secure credit card. What is a secure credit card? Does anybody know? If you know, if you can type yes, then that'll be awesome. A secure credit card is a card where you secure the ability to borrow with your own money. So most of the cards start around $300 locally for your local banks or your credit unions. If you go online, you can find them for $200. Some banks will do it for $300, but we offer a card with a partnership where you can do $200, no credit check. It'll report for you more often and help you improve your score quickly. I have a client who recently got it and she saw a 54-point increase in her score within 1 month. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Type I'm interested. I'll post the link to it. You can check it out. There's a video. I'm not, gonna do any hard pressure sales, but the card is good. So it's through a legitimate bank. They do check you, but they will not check your credit. So that's not a ding against you on your credit score. And it's going to report for you more often to help you establish your credit faster. All you have to do is fund the card. Once you do that, they'll mail it to you and you'll start establishing credit. Now, for those of you who aren't sure, I have a credit card. I can't figure out how come I can't get over this hump. I keep hovering like around the high 5s. I keep hovering around the low 6s. Here's what they're looking for with your credit cards. If you have a $300 limit, you want to keep the limit below $100, because at that point, your score is going to improve. Once you start getting to the $300 limit and you're maxing your card out, your score is not improving anymore. They look at you as a risk. So anytime somebody borrows, if somebody comes up to you and says, hey, I want to borrow $100 from you. Me personally, I'm going to ask why. Okay. And then my next question is going to be, when are you going to pay me back? Just be honest. When are you going to pay me back? So I expect that payment back in full, the same way I gave it to you. Same thing with a credit company. But they give you the option to pay payments. So when you pay payments, they penalize you for paying less than what you actually borrowed. That's the concept of credit. So the thing is if you borrow it, pay it back, because that's how you're going to establish your credit. Now, some people use their credit cards. I've seen people do it. I know people who do it. They take their credit cards and they use it for all their bills. And then at the end of the month, they take their paycheck and they pay off their credit. And that's cool. That works for some people. But if that don't work for you, don't do it. You have to do what works for you to help you establish your credit. Sometimes people will do that and it doesn't trigger the system to identify that person's been using their card. So a lot of lenders will say, hey, when you pay off your card or you pay off your monthly statement, leave like $20 on it, leave $30, so that the credit system can trigger and see, hey, this person had a high balance. Now they've paid it down low. And it still will report, and it'll help you boost your score faster that way. So I know I'm covering an awful lot of information. I know it's a lot, but I wanted to at least get in front of you guys and explain to you why your Vantage score is going to be different from your FICO score, and in what instances they use the Vantage score, and in what instances you're going to do the FICO score. So if you guys have any questions in reference to anything that I said, now is a great time to post your questions. I can see them. I can see where some of you said that you were interested in the link. I am typing it now while some of you type your questions, because I actually like doing this part. Some people want to charge you for everything they tell you. I don't do that. I want you to be able to have the information. Creditbuildercard.com. So I'm posting the link for the credit builder card. You can look at it. It will give you a video as soon as you go down, and you'll be able to learn more about it, and you can inquire. And the actual card does work within I think she said it reported like within 2 weeks, and I think that's when I saw it also hit her credit report. So, do we have any questions about Vantage Score, Credit Karma, and ways to effectively use your credit? I'm not seeing anything. So, if you're asking them, bear with me. And if you're not, then, kudos. That means that you guys have arrived. God knows I have, and I learn new stuff every day. So, if you have any questions about credit, ask them. I'll give you some time. I've got time. It's cold outside. It's really cold outside. So I want to thank everybody who's come on to watch the video. If you're still here with me, if you can share this on your page to help your friends build credit, and in this coming year, let's not do what we normally do. You know what I mean? Let's do something different. You know, if you think that you want to plan a trip, you know, do an envelope system and start setting some money aside. Even if you put $5, $10, $20 inside the envelope. You know what I mean? Let's not look at our friends who get big tax checks and talk about them because we think they're going to spend them or blow them. How about we encourage them and post and share and encourage them with people who we know can give them advice so that they can do better things with their taxes this tax season. I'm going to be doing more of a focus on that in the coming year. You know, I'm probably going to do some videos on what you can address and how you should address what you're going to do with your tax checks to help you maximize your potential. Things that you should look at when you're trying to purchase a home that you might want to focus on with your tax checks for those of us who get larger ones or who don't. I say us because if you're a small business owner and you have write-offs, use it to your advantage. You know, we could go on and on. I saw somebody on here. She's a business consultant, Ebony. Shout out. Miss Carzel, she's on here, and I know that she's currently doing a segment down in Georgia at the Commerce, where she's teaching people how they can grow their business. So, and she's streaming that information. Some people, you have to pay hundreds of dollars for that, and she is giving that away for free. And I think she's doing that weekly for like the next 4 to 5 weeks. Get on it. You know, if you see these things, share it. Education is free. You know, you just got to do it. So, with that being said, I want to thank everybody who took the time to come on the video, and I'll be keeping an eye out on all the information that I see below. Check us out, www.paytoncreditservices.com, or if you have any questions about your real estate needs, you can go to my page at Shannon Payton Century 21 Home Team Realty and follow us there. Share these things. You know, we're here to help. You know, each one teach one. Okay? Thank you, guys. Thank you, Chrissy. Thanks, guys.